Hey, what's up guys? This is Paco from Death and Beyond, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 20 favorite metal albums from the year 1995. And well, why do I think that this is a great topic for today? Because I basically believe that this year is one of the strongest when it comes to extreme metal, in particular when it comes to black metal. So let's see why. My number 20 is going to be Gehenna, Seen Through the Veil of Darkness, and they are a band from Norway. This is their first album, and I have to admit that before preparing for this video, I hadn't listened to this album, but I listened around 40 albums, and there were some I perfectly knew, there were others that I had to listen for the first time, and I'm going to admit that this is one of them. But hey, this is really worth your time. Gehenna, Seen Through the Veil of Darkness. It's a great black metal album, and it touches right in the spot, you know, like it's black metal, but like with medieval and dark atmospheres. And I think that the keyboards are the highlight of this album. So if you like what I'm saying, don't hesitate and listen to Gehenna, to their album Seen Through the Veil of Darkness. Number 19, we are going to talk about At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul. My first controversial pick. Probably many of you folks would put it much higher, but for me, I have to say that if someone had asked me a few years ago, I would have said, hey, this one belongs to the top 10 maybe. But nowadays, I think that this sound is too industrial for me. So hey, it's going to make it here in the number 19. They are from Sweden. It's the fourth album. You all know this. They have great melodies, and they are very influential, but it's going to belong here in number 19 for me. So hey, not too bad. There are actually quite a few bands that didn't make the top 20, and they are really good. So number 19 is still good. Let's jump on to number 18. We have Nagelfar with Vitra, which actually means something like weather, and they are from Sweden. This is their first album, and this is black metal, but very, very melodic. And also the keyboards are very special here in this album, but it's not like Gehenna, because here the melodies are the highlight. And I think that this is very well produced album. It sounds very well. You can listen to everything, even though it's black metal. And when it comes to black metal, my taste is like, I really like something like Gehenna, which is a little more raw in the production, but I don't like it when it's too raw, you know, like when it's too lo-fi, it kills the vibe for me. But in the other hand, Nagelfar with Vitra is very clear. So that was some of the aspects that I liked about it. And yeah, I think that this belongs to my top 20, number 18. Let's jump on to number 17. And we are going to stay in Sweden for the third consecutive album. And we're going to talk about Unanimated and their second album, Ancient God of Evil. And well, talking about melodic black metal, right? So another album that fits in this style. So you can expect great and evil melodies. Especially, I want to say that this album sounds very evil yet melodic. And maybe that's why some people consider this album like blackened death metal. Or you know, maybe black metal with touches of death metal, because perhaps the vocals sound more death metal. But whatever, I still think this is a great album with a lot of hooks. It's very catchy, and yeah, number 17. And now we are going to Austria, number 16. Actually, a country that we're going to see a few more times here in this list, thanks to this particular guy, Silenius from Abigor and Summoning. What a year for this man, what a year. We'll see why later. And here we have Abigor with Orkblut, the retaliation. And we were talking about medieval and dark. Hey, if we talk about medieval and dark, we have to talk about Abigor. And I think the only problem that this album has is that it's too short. It's just 21 minutes or so. So I wish it lasted a little longer, maybe 30, 40. But hey, nonetheless, this is a great album. It sounds like the black metal that I want to listen, you know. And the right atmosphere with those very nice keyboards and those interludes. This album has like many songs, but like many of them are like just instrumentals, and they give the album a very interesting vibe. So hey, if you are into medieval and dark, check Abigor, Orkblut, the retaliation. And let's jump into number 15. Let's go back to Sweden. Let's talk about Arckanum, Fran Marder. And this is another black metal album, but it's a special one because not too many bands sound like Arckanum. And this is another one that I discovered thanks to preparing for this video. And I have to say that it was really, really good. Especially the vocals, man. I don't know what's up with these vocals, but they have this very special touch that I really enjoyed. And also the keyboards are very, very interesting. They create like this it's kind of like nature, like the atmosphere, you know. A lot of passages that are related to, you know, like the sound of nature. And yeah, I really like this album. And by the way, this is a one-man band, and the guy does everything. And yeah, as I said, very good album. So let's jump on to number 14. And oh boy, this is a special one. We are going to the UK, the United Kingdom, London. And we are talking about Dark Heresy. And let me check that one. Their album, Abstract Principles Taken to Their Logical Extremes. And boy, this album is something else, for real. This is an album that I had listened to once, and I was quite surprised. You know, I was like, okay, I will listen to it later. So when the time came, when I was preparing this video, I was like, man, why didn't I listen to this again? Because really, it's so unique. It's very, many people don't like the avant-garde term, me included, but for this year, I think there wasn't anything quite like this. Very unique, very interesting style. Like, it's death metal, but it sounds weird, but weird cool, you know, weird, you want to listen to it, you know. It has clean vocals, it has instrumentals, it has parts that have nothing to do with metal, but these guys make it work, and I really appreciate when that happens. Maybe if I keep listening to this album, it will go higher in my list, but as for now, it's staying here, number 14. Let's do number 13, and oh god, this is also a really good one. We are talking about Necromantia, Scarlet Evil, Witch in Black. And this is a band from Greece. This is their second album. And well, man, some people consider this like one of the best black metal albums ever. For For me, it's still very good. And some people really like it because it has like this heavy metal vibe, but like combined with black metal. I like it, but it's not quite my style. I'm not a big fan of heavy metal. I can listen to it, but it's not the type of style I want from metal. Even though it's a classic style, but hey, that's just my taste. But this album is so good. The bass here is splendid, and it's an album with very different dynamics. It sounds very different, like during the whole album, and it has like this occult atmosphere that I really enjoy. So yeah, number 13, Necromantia, Scarlet Evil Witch in Black. Number 12, Finland, Skepticism, Stormcrowfleet. Oh boy, this is the type of album you listen when you are pissed, when you are angry, when you are depressed. And at least for me, it's like those feelings go away for a while. And you know, just like when you listen to one of the pioneers of funeral doom metal, you know you are going to a heavy trip, and very, very dense, oppressive, but majestic, you know, like the keyboards here, oh god, and the vocals, incredible. If you want to feel something heavy and slow, Stormcrowfleet by Skepticism, check it out. Number 11, this is a cool one. Sadist tribe from Italy. I must say that some people, some websites say that this album was released in 1996, but it says 1995 on Metal Archives, so I'm going to stick to Metal Archives. If it was released in 96, I'm sorry, but I'm going to talk about it here. It's my number 11, and for me, Sadist is like if you mixed something like Cynic, Atheist, and you put keyboards, and more keyboards into this mix. I love this album. So technical, so progressive, and it's just very fun. It's very fun, but very aggressive. It's death metal, you know. Very experimental. So if you like that vibe, go and check it out. Top 10, Dark Tranquility, The Gallery. This is an album that surprised me in a very nice way. They are from Sweden, their second album. This is an album that I had listened to when I was younger, and I realized that I should have listened to it more, because when I played it for the purpose of doing this video, I realized how good it was. It's very melodic, of course, but it sounds like dark, and it sounds kind of, I don't want to say medieval all the time, but it's not even black metal, but I don't know, but it has like something that reminds me of that style of medieval black metal, but not in the same vein, you know, not the same vibe, but I don't know, maybe it's just me who listens to that, but for me, this is a very good album, very catchy, and yeah, we all know Dark Tranquility, The Gallery, and yeah, this is my number 16. Sorry, my number 10. Let's jump on to number 9. Ulver, Bergtatt. I'm going to try to pronounce this for you all. Bergtatt et Eventer I Femf Seapitler. Okay, that is actually the name of the album, and it means something like an adventure in 5 chapters. Fair enough, 5 songs, each song is a chapter, and yeah, Ulver, Bergtatt, very atmospheric. They are like one of the pioneers of atmospheric black metal. They are from Norway, and this is an album that sounds like you go for a walk in the woods and it sucks you in, you know. It's a great album. It has a lot of acoustic passages. I think it's a great one. And yeah, number 9. Number 8, another band that I've been listening recently. I've been listening to them a lot recently, and it's Blut aus Not, Ultima thulee from France. The album Ultima thulee, their debut album, first album by this French man. And yeah, they also play black metal, but it's an album that has a completely different vibe from the other ones we've been talking about. It's a cold album, but it also sounds very magical, and this is thanks to the keyboards and a lot of instrumentals. Like, it's an album like you are listening to black metal, but suddenly you are listening to something completely different, like some weird instrumental, but it works. It's a great album. Blut aus Not, great band. Number 7, finally, let's go to the US, man. It took 13 albums to find something from this country, which really surprised me. But maybe this year, in my opinion, it's not so strong from for the US. But hey, here we have Dusk, Majestic though in ruin, and wow, this is death doom metal. It can't get better than this. It's an album that if you just look at the cover, you are going to be like, what is this, man? Like, this is not metal. But hey, don't take it for granted. This is so oppressive. The keyboards here make this like nature atmosphere that I love. It's like, it has like this sounds of water, animals, but they combine that with crashing death metal, and I really love it. The vocals are excellent, sensational, and yeah, if I want to listen to great death doom metal, I go for this. So number 7, Dusk, Majestic though in ruin. Let's go and check the number 6, and this is the dark horse of my top 20. Mork gryning, Tusen band from Sweden, and this is their debut album, and it means dark dawn, 1,000 years have passed. That's the Mork gryning, dark dawn, Tusen 1,000 years have passed. I'm sorry for my Sweden, my Norwegian, and even my English, but yeah, I'm trying to say these albums with their native pronunciations, and yeah, it's very interesting to find out about that. And this album sounds like Emperor before Anthems of the Waking at Dusk. My goodness, because that album came up in 97 and we are talking 95. This album is great. Like, there is not a single second that doesn't sound majestic in this album, and it's one that I discovered while listening to all of these 40 albums to make this video. It's incredible. It's so epic. This black metal, the keyboards here, just go and check it out. This album is so underrated. I will put the name in the description so you can check it out easily. And yeah, this is totally worth your time. Mork gryning, Tusen check it out. Number 5. Let's go back to Austria. Let's go back and talk about Abigor Nachthymnen from the Twilight Kingdom. Let's say that this is like Orkblut, the retaliation, without the instrumentals in between, and better. This is, again, so medieval, so dark. The atmosphere here feels like you are in a dungeon in the Middle Ages. And man, Selenius, again, crushing the scene. 1995, this album, it's the third album by Abigor, and yeah, also the keyboards, so nice. And it even has like a female singing maybe in a few songs, or maybe just one song. It sounds great. These guys weren't afraid of trying new things, and they nailed it. They totally nailed it with this album. Really good. And well, my last 4 albums, man, I could put 4 number 1 and it would make sense for me, but I had to choose. And I'm even surprised I'm going to say this, because Death is my favorite band, but Death Symbolic is my number 4 from 1995. You all know Death. For me, it's the best death metal band of all time. And hey, what can I say about Symbolic? One of the best albums, one of the most progressive and technical ones. And it's their 6th album. You have the master Jing Hoglan on drums, and hey, Chuck Schuldiner. What can I say about it? Like, this album is just perfection, man. It's I like 4 words, you know, like I don't have enough words to say to tell you how good this album is. Every time I see people talking about other bands that are, in my opinion, so generic, and they don't like Death, it's like, do you even listen to death metal? But hey, this is just my taste, but for real, Death Symbolic, one of the best albums. But hey, we are still have 3 more albums, and the next one is going to be one that for many people, they don't even know it, or they think it's they look at the artwork, 2 flowers, and they say, no, that's not for me. Or maybe they listen to the last albums of this band, which totally suck in my opinion, and they reject these other albums. But I'm talking about Opeth, Orchid. Man, Opeth from Sweden, this is their debut album. This is death metal, but like with a black metal vibe. I've never listened to something like this. Maybe just the second and third Opeth's album sound like this, but this is an album of their own. I just love the vibe here. Very long songs, very progressive, and even gorgeous songs like Silhouette, piano instrumental. I love it. Check it out if you haven't given Orchid by Opeth an opportunity. You won't regret it. Number 2, last Silenius. Let's go again to Austria. Summoning Minas Morgul, the definition of epic. This is the 2nd Summoning album. They also released Luchburt in 1995, but I think it's not the it's not summoning. It doesn't sound like summoning. Some people still like it. It's good. I like it, but Minas Morgul is when summoning started to sound like summoning, and man, this is just a classic. What can I say? When you listen to this, you feel like you are going through the Middle Earth. It's like the whole summoning discography sounds like that. You are about to battle some orcs, and you're surrounded by your elves and the other men, and you're about to go to battle in the Middle Earth, fight Sauron and all this. And it's just so epic. I love this album. The keyboards are incredible, but everything is good about this album. So just, just check it out if you don't know Summoning. And finally, man, Dissection, Storm of the Lights, Bane. My favorite black metal album of all time. Sweden. It is the 2nd Dissection album, and boy, the melodies here, this is black metal, melodic black metal. Can't get better than this. Taken to this is like the epitome of melodic black metal. When you listen to this, especially the title song, Storm of the Light, Bane. Where Dead Angels Lie. That is probably my first, the first Dissection song that I listened to, and probably my best song, my favorite song. And yeah, what can I say? I just love this album so much. I think everyone should listen to Dissection, and yeah, you all know Dissection, so there's nothing else I should say. And I wanted to give a shout out to Dan Suano, because he was the sound engineer for Storm of the Light, Bane, for Orchid, for Tusen of Mork gryning, and Unanimated Ancient God of Evil. 4 of these top 20 albums were engineered by this mastermind, Heads of Sanity, Dan Suano. Great year for him. And in general, great year for Sweden. We had 8 bands from this country. Also Norway was strong here. And Silenius, the man himself, really good albums. And yeah, man. Well, I was a little nervous when recording this video. English is not my mother tongue. I hope I can improve and yeah, get better in the next videos. So hey guys, I hope you all enjoyed my top 10 and my top 20. Comment down below if you agree with me. What's your top 20? What other albums you like from this year? And hey, see you all on the next one. See ya.